right, so everything is based on merit, and today I'll be the one speaking to the media. Our players are going to earn the right to talk to the media. It's an honor and a privilege to represent this great football program and the way we practice. And right now we have to stop using youth as a crutch or as an excuse. It is what it is. It's where we're at in the program. Nobody cares. Our opponents don't care. And everything is about a culture and a standard and an expectation. And I told you our patience is going to be tried, and our patience are being tried. I think our players are competing. We're just not there yet in our standard and our expectations. And we'll continue to develop that and work on that. But I want all their focus on showering, getting up, eating dinner, working on their recovery, and going right to meetings, because we can't waste one single opportunity to improve this football team. So I'll answer any questions you may have.
Butch, what led to you deciding to only address
just a standard and an expectation by which we're going to practice. And you go through the highs and the lows of training camp, but what you want is a consistent approach, and I really haven't seen that consistency in performance. And a lot of it is players going through it for the first time, but we can't allow that to be an excuse. And so they need to focus on football and academics and finishing school strong. But we're going to come out, when we step out on the grass, it's 2 hours of mental effort and mental intensity in everything that we do. That's the standard, that's the expectations, that's the way we coach, and that's the way we're going to play around here. And when it doesn't meet up to those standards and expectations, there's repercussions. And we have to focus on getting better as a football team.
Was this a teaching tool that you've used in the past at previous stops? Is this something you've used in the past at previous stops?
Every team's different, but every team we've coached has played with a hard edge, has had a mentality, and it's a process. Your practice habits, it's your consistency, but it's also leadership. Leadership is at a premium right now. We don't have very many leaders. And we talk to our team about, do you invest your time or are you spending your time? You can come out here and just spend it, or are you investing it? And then the next thing in the evolution of a team is, are you hearing yourself? Are you talking to yourself? And you have to control your mindset. It got a little hot out there today, but again, we're going to play in some heat games. And every team is different, has different dynamics, but all I'm concerned about is what's going on here. Well, I didn't like, obviously, you guys had fun with it yesterday. I didn't like the approach yesterday. And again, everything's a standard. From the minute we walk on the football field, we don't walk, we run. You look at Antonio Brown, one of the best wideouts in the National Football League. Talk to the Steelers, he hits the ground, it's a standard expectation. You run the drill. You get your extra work in. That's what's embedded in this football program. I just didn't like our overall approach and consistency, and we have to set the tone. And our players understand, they're willing, they're trying to do everything at once in practice with the tempo, but you just have to continue to grind through. But the biggest thing is just overall consistency. We'll see. I don't know.
Was there a drop-off after the first 8 periods? Did it change dramatically?
Yeah. When we got into some team situations, we had way too many balls on the ground. And, we talk about executing. We have to be a team that we cannot beat ourselves. If it's mental penalties, that's a big thing this training camp. Mental penalties, jumping off sides, lining up off sides, illegal procedure penalties. We had 17 of them last year. That's inexcusable. A lot of it is on the shoulders of the quarterback. He manages the offense with his verbal commands, with his voice inflection. So it's all the little things, the small details, but we had trouble at times even snapping the football today. We couldn't make a field goal. We had too many balls on the ground, and you're not going to win with that performance. And so again, we will not tolerate that. That's something that you have to make sure you adjust, and our players will come out, they'll be fine tomorrow. But again, every moment is a teaching moment, whether it's positive or a chance to improve.
But you kind of sent the player staff away yesterday after stretching it, Joe, very well. As far as their response, not what you wanted to see today?
Yeah, but it takes more. They have to learn how to speak a little bit more. It's easy to lead when things are easy. The great leaders have to lead in difficult times. And we were quiet. We were a quiet football team. You can't have that. We want energy. We want passion. We want guys coaching each other. We want that communication from player to player to coach. And it's got to be on every single repetition. We will get there. They're learning the standards, the expectations. They'll get it. But as a leader of this football program, you can't accept mediocrity. It'll never be accepted here.
But you want to develop leadership. Have you had any experience in the past of being able to teach that?
Yeah.
Develop those kind of leaders?
You have to work on leadership every single day. That's a skill set, and you work on it. And there's a skill to it. But yeah, we work on it every day. And you know, we've had individuals that were quiet leaders that, you know, Travis Kelce is probably one of the greatest examples of all. It took him 4 years. And then his 4th year, the light turned on, and he was a 3rd-round draft choice of the Kansas City Chiefs. One of the most dynamic individuals we had, one of the toughest competitors we've ever had. But that light didn't come on. That maturation phase didn't occur to year 4. Same thing with Antonio Brown. It was year 3. So we've seen that. Juwan James, it took a couple months. So every person is different. You know, all the young players are developing at their different speed, you know, their different pace, which, you know, we understand that's going to happen. But you have to practice leadership every single day, and it's our job as coaches to also point out those teaching illustrations as well.
Is physical conditioning team playing a part of this, or is this all upstairs?
I think for the most part, it's a lot mental. You know, that's why we call it mental conditioning. Everything's happening extremely fast. You know, when you throw in a playbook of schemes, whether it's offense, defense, your style of play, how you line up, your technique, winning your one-on-one matchup, but also then throw in a special teams playbook. And right now, there's a lot of individuals are letting the mind tie the feet up. Some individuals are sore, and they have to fight through it. Josh Malone, he's going through the rigors of being a wide receiver at this level. He has to learn how to push his way mentally through the sore legs. That comes with the inordinate amount of running that the receiver position does. That will come over time. The thing we can't do is we can't waver. We have to stay the course, and we have to keep demanding. And we will, and our players expect that from us.
Just a part of practice where I guess it's open for us to look in. It looked like you were almost a little bit more agitated yesterday than today. So you just kind of reach a point today where it's enough's enough, and you just kind of stick to yourself with that.
Well, it's the small details of playing winning football. It's the balls on the ground. It's jumping off sides. It's missing field goals. It's can't handle a quarterback center exchange. It's throwing incomplete passes. It's all that, the small details of winning football. Even though it's practice 4, we can't allow that to happen. That's not the standard. That's not the expectation. They'll get it. Today's another great teaching opportunity. We will be better for it tomorrow.
Has there been a position group so far that stuck out to you as in terms of consistency so far?
No.
Has the accuracy, point about the passing accuracy, has it gotten any better?
It's gotten worse. You know, we have to go back. We have to look at our mechanics. A lot of it, though, is also our wideouts and tight ends and running backs running full speed routes. But, you know, we have to work on that. The great thing is we don't have to be game ready yet. We have ample time to get game ready, and we'll be able to do that. And, you know, I love our players. They've done everything and anything that we've asked of them. But the standard is high. Nobody's going to come into Neyland Stadium or we go on the road and say, oh, they're the youngest team in the country. Let's give them a break. If anything, it's a heightened awareness. So we have to be mentally tough. We have to be physically tough. We must be able to withstand adversity, and we have to win the small details. We have to be fundamentally sound, and we have to execute. And that's going to be the formula to win with this football team.
Butch, I know that youth is not an excuse, but is all this kind of magnified because half the team is as young as it is? I mean, is this really uncommon for third day or fourth day of training camp if you're talking about 15 newcomers as opposed to 32?
It's very uncommon. And the thing is that some position groups, there are no older players that have played a lot of football to be able to lead them. So, you know, the freshmen are kind of out there. And so the, the individuals that do have experience, their leadership has to be dynamic. They have to step up, and they're trying. But we must get better. We must continue to improve. If we can just be that much better every time we step out in the grass, it all adds up over time. And that's the whole point. We don't have to get that much better today. Get that much better today, and it'll all take care of itself. But, you know, the missed studs, the not tagging up, not bending your knees, those are missed tackles. Those are the fine details. So, you know, part of it is I want them to shower, I want them to eat, and we have to take advantage of this time that we have to really dive into the film and get a lot of these deficiencies corrected right now.
You know, how hard is it that schools still go once you're not in full camp mode?
It's a great challenge. This is kind of the second year in all my years of coaching I haven't been through this where, you know, you're in the rigors of final exams, final papers. So we had a great first semester, the best semester we had. I believe our freshman class had a 3.3 overall GPA for the first semester. That's very, very good. And so we need to finish strong. So obviously they have school going on, they have football going on, but it's not an excuse. You have to learn how to manage your time, budget your time, and when you walk in the doors of the Anderson Training Center, all focus, all attention, that mental effort, that mental intensity is taking the accountability to be a better football player today. And that's what we expect, and that's what we'll continue to demand.
Was this surprising to you at all? Did you kind of expect them to be a little bit farther along?
No, I'm about right where I expected. But again, you can't allow these things to continue to happen. But, you know, I said it in the introductory press conference, and now maybe you guys know what I was talking about. Our patience is going to be tried, and we have to be patient. We have to show some patience. We have to be great teachers, and we have to continue to lead them. But our older players need to step up. I mean, this is what you do. You know, you don't play football. You'd rather play football than strength and condition and train and all that. You do it to make yourself a better football player. So when you get a chance to actually play football, you should be excited each and every day because you get to play a great sport that not very many people get that opportunity to play. The other thing is you get to represent the University of Tennessee. There isn't any better institution in the country. And when you've grown up in the Division III ranks, in the Division II ranks, the Mid-American Conference, when you get to a place like this, it makes you appreciate it that much more. I talked about Antonio Brown. At Central Michigan, we would meet in meeting rooms, cinder block rooms with no air conditioning, just fans. It'd be 110 degrees in there, and our offensive line would be losing weight. You know, we had a fundraiser, a bake sale, so we could raise money. Our wives ran it so we could buy extra ice for cold tubs. You know, and that's what I want our players to understand is what you have at the University of Tennessee is very special. Never take that for granted.
Butch, how do you balance the patience that you talk about with also the sense of urgency you talk about, particularly when not only do you have a lot of freshmen, but they have to play?
Well, that's a great question. And everything is a sense of urgency. We'll have patience. We'll go in, we'll teach off the film, we'll correct, we'll get it fixed. But I think today just exemplifies the sense of urgency that this team has to have because our margin of error is very, very small. And if you're a competitor, you get to prove people wrong. You get to prove it. We should be hungry. We don't have an individual on this football team that's played in a bowl game. That should motivate you. You know, football should motivate you, and it does. These are the days of training camp, but they're tremendous teaching opportunities.
When you told them that they weren't coming out here today, did you kind of, I said it wasn't the only message you gave them, but did you kind of see it is? I mean, do you think they're starting to get that?
They are.
These are going to be the standards?
Yeah, and they want to do it. They just need to be taught how to do it. And they'll do it, and they'll get it done, and they understand the sense of urgency. They better, because we don't have much time. The clock is ticking till Utah State. Utah State is a fine, fine football team and a fine, fine football program. So we have to be game ready right off the bat.
Thanks, guys, very much.
Thank you. Jay-Sean Robertson, we're trying right now at offensive line. So we moved his position, the offensive guard, and he showed some things in practice that we liked, so we moved him to the offensive line. And I tell you what, Jay-Sean is one of those individuals, love him to death. Always has a smile on his face, loves the opportunity. He's tough, he's extremely competitive, and he's doing a great job for us.
Alan Carson.
Yeah, he's graduated and moved on.
Robertson,
Thank you.